Market vitals, the levels you need to triage the market. HFR on a Friday. Matt, I am fully regaled in Monza TV. It's basically our battle gear, for cold weather. What do you call this, Matt? A beret? A battle beret? The green berets?
Make a Macron or a Trudeau beret. What are you, gay?
Why do you gotta say Trudeau? Honest to God. Really?
Gay?
You gotta say Trudeau?
What are you, gay Paris? What's going on?
I am gay.
You're very gay, man. Very happy. You are.
What up, Lee? What up, Mark? Hey, let's get right into it on Friday, Matt. You thought there was something incredible that happened in the world of sport, didn't you not?
I did. I thought that catch in the World Series was pretty good.
All right, listen, man. It's unreal that people think that was the best thing that happened in sport. Yeah. And let me share, because it wasn't. It wasn't. This was. Right here, let's go full screen. Look at this Italian. Takes the check. Are you kidding me with that angle?
Yeah, nasty.
Pastrami, I think his name is.
Looks like a Polish name. He's got a K in the end of
it.
It is. He's an Eastern European, for sure. I'm sure he's an Eastern European.
Look at that backhand.
He's probably Czech. That's how bad you are.
That is so filthy.
You got to give him credit now. Who is this guy on the Bruins? He's an assistant captain. I mean, come on.
Hold on. Let's go back and see if we can't stop it and read the name. Hold on, we're getting close.
Something Zach. Pasternak.
I think we pronounced it right. Pasternak.
Yeah.
Filthy backhand. I mean, look how filthy that is. Oh, unbelievable. So the baseball catch was good, Matt, but that was just ridiculous. Ridiculous. That's all I'm saying.
I hear you.
All right, Matt, let's get right into it. What do I got first? We got an election. I saw a great tweet the other day. It was said, don't forget to change your clocks on Sunday and change our governor on Tuesday.
God, wouldn't that be nice? Can you imagine if Oregon went red? Wow, that would be crazy.
I did see another thread too, how Uncle Joe and Kamala are stopping in Illinois. Like, when was the last time in a midterm anybody stumped in Illinois as a Democrat? I mean, give me a break. Right. It's as blue as blue. Yeah, anyway, I thought this was fun from Reliant. Go ahead.
Even Biden was in Oregon. I mean, they're only going to go to the places where think about it. They've only, even Obama's been getting jeered at, and he's only going to places that are blue oriented. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
It's crazy. But it's all the mega MAGA, whatever that means.
Remember the rigged witch hunt? The only thing rigged in this was the 2016 presidential election.
That's what Hillary.
I love how the world of technology has timestamped everybody that says anything. It's like, you can't say you said this 10 years ago, or 4 years ago, or 7 years ago, and you're like, yeah, go find me the news clip where I send that, and you're like, all right, I can't find it. Sorry, I'm not going to go pull newspapers from somewhere. But now it's right there in black and white. I just thought that was fun. And a lot of people irritated with, and Elon too. Elon said there's a war on free speech. Damn it, stop pulling ads. We thought this one was incredibly fun. Pfizer stopped ads on Twitter after Elon Musk taped, mostly because their audience is leaving Twitter. So why do they want to advertise to a bunch of people that wouldn't take their jab if their life depended on it?
Right. I mean, it's smart business. Pfizer should be up on that news today.
Let's bring it up. Let's bring up Pfizer. We haven't looked at it in a week. Why wouldn't we?
Hang on one second. I wonder. I mean, nothing's up. Well, nothing. Everything's up and down today. But let's see what is Pfizer doing here. Let's see if I can bring it in for you. Pfizer is up 34 cents on that news. So yeah, I guess the cost
They're
cutting,
saving money. Yeah,
they're saving money, the cost cutting on the ad spend. But I think the market knew about it already. It already had a 20% run, from mid-October to here to 48. So, and
fractal out here so we can see. Yeah, we love doing the fractal. Fractal me, baby.
Again,
all right, it's getting interesting here.
A big move up into the base. Again, just like we talked about with Moderna. Again, so this is still a bullish chart on the long term, but every single rally is met with further selling, right? Lower lows the whole way and lower highs. So this is counter trend to me. The trend has really been down since early 22. It has been down 61 to 41 back to the middle there, and of that move, and now seems to be rolling over. Moderna also, I know was a little green, and it has been green. We've been talking about it, up another $7 on the again, they don't need to spend money anymore because nobody's taking their shots, but the government bought them all. So this should be good for a while.
Interesting that it's still squarely in that bracket. We talked bracketology yesterday, Matt, and how perfectly it worked. And this one, you just got to be patient with it, or play the sine wave.
Yeah, sell the top by the bottom until it breaks one way or the other. Looks like you've lost my video except for sharing the screen. So just FYI.
Oh, son of a bitch. We are having technology difficulties here today, and I don't know why.
Big delays.
Matt Davio, a face for radio. Let's just say that. Now, we had a jobs number today, and it was still positive, but GR Dector, I can't, how do you pronounce that? Genevieve, CFA. These were layoffs announced in the last day. This was from yesterday. Lyft, 13% of workers. Open Door, 18% of workers. Stripe, 14%. Chime, 12%. Twitter, as we know, 50%. Morgan Stanley, unknown. We talked Wells Fargo yesterday, and we keep talking that they have not. This has not shown up yet.
And I was talking to a friend that is working for Intel, and the friend was saying that there's a lot. Apparently the human resources can't even say the word layoff anymore, but they're dancing around whatever the verbiage is at Intel at another 20%. And you're looking at 100 to 120,000 employees at Intel. So there you go. That's another one that's not even on that list. So that's from somebody that is, from the actual, HR side of, or is hearing from the HR side of Intel that's what there's a lot of rumors, but they're trying to make it through obviously this election period before they start laying those people off, and the holidays, right? So as soon as we get through this election, that I think you'll start seeing these cuts. I really do. I think, to your point, and this jobs number today, Bob, is very confusing, as it always is. We've said, like, the jobs number, they hide a lot of stuff in there all the time, and it appears again to me that they are hiding a lot of. It said they picked up 220,000 retail, 130,000 retail, or something like that, which is the bulk of the number. And I mean, retail really are those those are like third jobs for most people. Like, they're not like your primary income source if you're ringing the register somewhere. I don't think.
All right, man, let me share this because it's interesting to see the narratives here as we come into the last weekend before the election. This is House Majority Whip James Clyburn. I don't have the audio, but I'm gonna do the audio myself for the hearing impaired. And he's saying this country is on track to repeat what happened in Germany in the 1930s. If the how about this? I mean, are you serious? Are you serious with these narratives?
That's exactly what he said.
Germany in the 1930s. Okay,
right? But again, look in the mirror, sir. You are the head whip of the House, and that means you're a Democrat and you're blue, and we have massive inflation, just like Weimar Germany, and you are in power, sir. But you're talking about But you're talking about the last president still. He didn't do any of this. We had gas in the ones. We had full employment. We had no wars anywhere in the world, and we had no inflation. So what's he talking about? Again, I'm trying to get to the facts.
All right, Madison, you need to share the incredible trading opportunities today in a two-way market.
Well, again, I would not recommend these markets for the uninitiated. And why do I say that, Bob? And it's because, like, if you don't know what you're doing and you don't utilize price discovery, you're getting your face ripped unless you're fading every move. And that's, what do I mean by fading every move? Well, when it goes down, it goes up. When it goes up, it goes down. When it goes down, it goes up. When it goes up, it goes down. You got that?
Yes, I do. Yeah, perfect price discovery. Yes.
No, but this is one day. This is hard for people to. I mean, think about this. 630 was your low, 980 was your high. You're talking 360 points, which is 3%. But hold on, Bob. Right off the number, we went into basically a 2% range, 840 to 630. Then we settled in and went bullish right to the open, the regular open.
The regular, right on 930.
630 open marked a high for the day at the moment. And then we went down another 2%. So again, 2% wide, 2% up, 2% down, 2% up. Again, after we bottomed at this random place right here, which, I guess it was close to this level at that point. But then we went up another 2%, tested the high, couldn't really break out, went only 13, 14 above the high that we made off the open, and then proceeded to go down 300 points again, which is, again, almost 3%. So 2% to start, 2% up, 2% down, 2% up, 3% down. Then we had a 1% rally from 677 here midday. The lunch hours begin and we get 120 points. So that's 1%. And then we just took down another new low here, another 1%. Wow. You got that?
Yeah, I do. What it tells me is that there's a lot, it's thin, first of all, and there's not a lot of people willing to stick their neck out.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, this is traders sitting around with BB guns in a circle and just shooting at each other's nuts.
Wait a second. So Thursday Night Football produces again.
Yep.
And did you see that Amazon now has a kind of like a rebuttal to the Mannings on Monday Night Football?
Okay, I did not.
All right, and it just blew me away to watch this, and I could only stomach it for about 4 minutes. Like, so they have these guys, and I don't know who they are. They might have a big social media following. I honestly don't know who they are. 4 dudes sitting in a warehouse with like AstroTurf, couches, and then while I was watching, they played this game where they pulled 2 of them and had them sit down to narrate the game, and then if they said these words, right, they get shot in the face with this colored powder, right? It's like the game isn't interesting enough on Thursday night. I get that, like Thursday.
So they're kind of making it like what's the Nickelodeon?
It's like a game inside
kids.
A game. You're actually watching. You're really there not to watch the game. You're there to watch these guys that you like on social media play games, and it's basically
because they're losing to Twitch again. Everybody's playing games.
It is the Twitch crowd, and I think that's what they're looking at. And I'll be interested to see if I actually think that at some level, if you're Kirk Herbstreit, right, you got to be like, are you shitting me? I'm going to lose a job to these guys shooting colored ink into each other's faces. Instead of my expert analysis of the game. Like,
right.
I don't know what it says. I just know that I wasn't interested in the game to begin with, and I was less interested in watching them be uninterested in the game. Anyway, Matt, one storyline that we talked about on the way in is Apple. We said for probably 2 years here, as Apple goes, so goes the market. Bring up Apple and let's talk about the
again,
Garden of Eden.
No specific news. It's rare that, again, we have a jobs day today and Apple's in play big time. I mean, big time. I mean, it was down another buck earlier, but I'll start with the real close and look. But yeah, Apple hit 154.45 here just in the last few minutes, trying to find a bottom here for the day. Remember, earnings took us all the way up to 156. This is where we were before earnings. So we're well below pre-earnings, and really the last 2 weeks now, all the lows have been taken out. We kind of tested, almost got to this low here, which was, the October 13th low, which was the market low. So Apple has reversed almost 100% of that move. And based on great earnings, right? We had the great earnings up here that took us all the way up to the 157.50 range. But again, we were saying that should be sold. That earnings should have been sold. And if you were paying attention, you just made $20. $20 on Apple was crazy. It's a huge move in less than a week's time, Bob. So again, spot on there. Apple marked the top again.
Go back that one fractal, because we talk about this all the time.
And again, when this 128 level goes, and we've been in this upper bracket for a long time, and we're coming, the first test of the value zone, we talked about it, we rallied. Now we had an earnings rally. Now we're coming into the holidays again, and then there's a lot, the rumors I talked about yesterday of Apple coming out with a VR. Who knows? Maybe that saves it again. But right now, we're starting to get into the next kind of section here, which is kind of 107 to 130. That would be your next levels. We'll probably have a battleground in that area. And then when 107 goes, then you're looking at 80. I mean, then you're looking at $80 there, which is the point of control. The COVID low, by the way, 53.39, still much lower to go. I mean, you got another $80 to get there, which is again,
Matt, let's do the thought experiment on the bracket that's put in, because
it's basically a $55 bracket from 130 to 180. Let's call it $50. So a break of 130 again sets you to 80.
Right. Boom, there. It's
amazing.
It's amazing.
Yep.
It's numbers magic here, provided daily at marketvitals.io. Matt, when you look at that, the power of filling value ranges, it's please do not hold this thing to the ground if you're leveraged. I mean, if it starts trading into that value range, you just there's nothing wrong with saying, I love the company, I love the story, and I'm gonna go to the sidelines until this thing shakes out a little bit.
Right.
That's an adult conversation, by the way.
It is an adult conversation. Don't be dumb. I mean, don't ride the shit back down just because you wrote it up. I mean, then you missed the top. The top's not coming back. The top's not coming back anytime soon. So by all means, you need to be putting that in your pipe and taking your losses. If you didn't book it in at 180, I'm sorry, it's not going back there. Not anytime in the next.
Matt, I cannot get out of my mind BB guns and traders sitting around shooting each other in the nuts. I can't get it out of my mind. And
you're gonna put somebody's eye out.
Lee said steel cups needed, and I would just bring a caveat to this. Not only are they shooting each other in the nuts, but everybody in the game just spent 30 minutes in the sauna. All right, so it's even more delicate of a situation. That's what this market is.
I also, on the tech side, I like to look at Airbnb, right? I like to look at Airbnb as, even though it has only been trading since 2021, right? It came public during the COVID, believe it or not. It's been around for a long time, but it just came public. What's interesting about this is we have really two brackets here, like you like to talk about the brackets. So we had the initial high, let's call it 220. That put in a lid up there, and then we kind of had the initial low of 130. Let's right around this area, right in here, 130, and that's see how it's respected it on the upside, coming back to test that also, which is the big meat of this profile here. And even though again we only have a couple of years of information, this is still good information. And if I were thinking about this, and this next bracket now is 86 to 130. So you're talking 45, what is that, 15? Yeah, $45. So a break of this takes you down to, believe it or not, $40. So if we break here, this bracket, now you have two brackets that you have to work through over time. And if this breaks that 85 level, I would definitely be alerted to that at that 85 level. If that breaks it, And if this, the slowdown comes, I mean, people aren't going to be going to all of your multitude of Airbnbs that people are trying to rent out and trying to, I can tell you, if you're looking right now, if you've been shopping Airbnbs, the discounts are there. They are there right now. So,
we've said it. You said it. You teach it. Floors become ceilings. Ceilings become floors, and that chart perfectly illustrating. Perfectly.
Hey Bob, we're coming into another the first weekend of November, which is we've had the jobs now. I'm curious your thoughts on the football weekend coming in. I've got another list of games here.
All right, bring it up so we can go. Can you bring up a graphic with the games? Let's do that.
So
let's do it.
I wasn't quite done here, but I've got 7 games. Let me just zip through.
So far, let me just point out, Matt has never been under 500 since we've been doing this.
You just jinxed me, so thanks.
I just wanted to file on the pressure of his college football prowess. Never been under 500.
So here's what I'm going to. Now that you've absolutely smoked me.
Yeah, thank you very little.
I am not interested in the Michigan-Rutgers game, although Michigan should cover the 25 points. I would not touch that game. Florida State, Miami's bad. Florida State's only given 8.5. Might have to add that one to it. Just let me look here real quick. I got to make sure. I kind of like. I think you know what? Okay, I got one.
Here we go. He's adding. The windows are open, by the way. We used to say that every Friday on the trading floor. As things slowed down, you didn't need a bookie on the trading floor, right? There's plenty of people within, shouting distance that would take any action that you wanted to partake in. So the windows are open for gambling college football.
All right, so we're going to go with the early games first here, and I'm going to stick with the Big Ten because I know the Big Ten pretty well. I'm going to say Iowa's going to come into West Lafayette and getting 4.5. Somehow Kirk Ferentz is going to defensively win this game and come away with the victory. So Iowa plus 4.5 at Boilermakers. I'm gonna go back to your row the boat, coach. 10.5 over Nebraska, although the line has moved to 15.5. I would still take that. Let's say it's 2 touchdowns. These lines are moving, but the betting is heavily laid on Minnesota at Nebraska. Have you seen Nebraska play? They're god awful.
Oh my God! What a fall in college football prowess.
Yeah, it's been a sad 20 years, but I understand it. Michigan's been in the same place until the last couple, so I get it. Kentucky -3, 2.5, 1.5, whatever you can get here. I think they're walking into Mizzou with the desperation. They've lost 2 or 3 of the last couple games, so they're struggling. So take Kentucky at Mizzou, and then I'm moving on here to Texas A&M. Again, they suck this year too, but it's at home. Jimbo needs a win badly, and it's only 3 against Florida. Take A&M. Again, both these teams really kind of suck. I'm just going with the home team basically on that one. And then TCU, I'm going to ride them. I'm going to ride TCU -7.5 at home against Texas Tech. They can't stop anybody, but they usually win by about 10 points. So I like that line, 7.5 to 9. I think you're good there. I think anywhere in there, TCU looks good. Oklahoma State is the next game I was looking at. And here it is. Again, they've really shit the bed the last couple of weeks at Kansas, desperate indeed, and they're getting 2.5. They were getting 6, so the money is piling into Oklahoma State right now. I'll join them. And then the big game that everybody's excited for, the 2 SEC games. You got UT at Georgia, getting 8.5. I'm going to say put your money on Hooker.
Why wouldn't you? Like, seriously, why wouldn't you?
Take the 8.5 points. They can't stop anybody, so Georgia's going to score. But let's just say they're going to keep it close because they're going to score on Georgia. I don't think Georgia's defense is as good as last year's, but let them prove me wrong. So take Georgia or take UT plus the 8.5 over Georgia, and then also sticking with the SEC, Bama giving only 12.5. to LSU at LSU. LSU, although have been playing well of late, I think Bama needs a big win. I think they're going to need a 2-touchdown plus cover, so they're going to get it. Nick's going to call it. And then again, Michigan should cover this. I'm not touching it because I'm a Michigan fan. So they should cover that. But it's at Rutgers. Last year was 70-0, which makes me say probably not. They probably won't cover it. They'll probably be close. They'll end up winning by 10 points. And I'll be shitting the bed all day watching us struggle against. And then people will go, oh, yeah, that's why Michigan is ranked 5th in the college football playoffs right now, because you suck. Okay, fine. Bring on Ohio State. So anyways, but I'm not touching that game. Clemson, again, playing Notre Dame. Take Clemson at Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame got lucky last week. I don't think Syracuse is that good. I still think Clemson is decent, so take them. And then the final night game, if you haven't had enough fun at this point, take UCLA. Take UCLA at Arizona State. Again, 7-1 after the big loss to Oregon. They need a big win. Why not, Chip? Blow them out. Blow out the
right on, Chip. Roll.
Blow
Keep
them out.
the roll rolling.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games for you.
10
Hopefully
games. Miss Trey, tell me about the NFL this weekend. Are there any 10-point favorites?
Are there any? I have not looked because you know how I care about the NFL. But yeah, the Bills are of course favored by double digits, 13 over Lee's Jets. So you got that one. And then you got and then you got the Chiefs, double digit faves at home against the Titans. Interesting. So and then you got, of course you had the Eagles last night, double digit faves over the Titans, and they double digit,
Favorited them. All right, Matt, no recession affirmed now because no chance that Phillies can go to Houston and win too. No chance, right?
I mean, I would take the with money on the Astros winning one of two games. Even if they have to throw Verlander out now that he finally got his first World Series win too. Like people don't know that he never won a World Series game, right, even though he's been there. He lost with the Tigers. He lost, with the Astros many times before. So
that's because he can't concentrate with Kate in the,
I mean, she's a distraction. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely. Good for him. Good for him.
So yeah, the jobs number, super good. And then we got elections coming up next week. And the Democrats, of course, have told us, since they are the only ones that count the votes, I guess, that it's going to be delayed. So
my question to you is this:
Why are they talking about that? By the way,
let me ask you a question.
Isn't that your Secretary of State? If it's
let me just ask you a question here. What is stopping me from taking my vote card? Right. First of all, driving and dropping off my mail-in ballot, and then immediately driving to the polling center and voting. What's stopping that? What do we have in place?
Absolutely nothing, Bob.
I'm just wondering. I'm wondering out loud. I don't know.
You just gave all the blue hairs a great idea. Good job.
You mail in and vote the same day. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, that's
drive
why
through and then go to the polling center.
I'm sure they have. I would hope they have something that prevents
that. How could they? How do they know that this is in the mail?
Well, good point. I don't understand it either.
And when you send it in, you just sign it like they're looking at. Is there a QR code specific? Maybe there is.
There's got to be.
I have a specific QR code. Let me see if it.
Yeah, so I'm sure when they waive it and they already noticed you voted or vice versa, yeah, for sure. But can you even in Oregon? Can you even vote?
Sure, you can. That's why you have a voter's card, so you can go in person vote.
All right.
I don't know. Another thing that we're guaranteed probably not correct in.
The vote counting is, like you said, vote early and vote often. You're from Chicago, so that's
I understand it.
That's how you grew
understand
up.
It.
Yeah.
Not only that, I saw what's his name, Tom Fitton, right? The advocate for honest voting is suing Illinois because Illinois wants to accept a mail-in ballots time-stamped up to 2 weeks after the election, just in case they don't get the result that they want. I mean, as a society, can we set the bar lower? Because that's what I want to. That's what I want to campaign on. I'm Bob, and I'm going to set the bar even lower than it
I mean,
is right now.
if they send the the mail ballots 3 weeks out, I think that's just bumpkiss. Like we don't need another 3 weeks. Like if you can't figure out your your vote in those 2 weeks and get it in time, then you're disqualified. You're disqualified from the game, right? Don't you think?
No, everybody gets a trophy, man.
Everybody
That's
gets a
how we
trophy,
work this.
right?
That's how
Right,
we
right,
work
right.
this. All right, listen, please get out there, vote early, vote often, and set your clocks back. 336,000 deer will be hit across the country because of the clocks moving. I thought that was an interesting little piece. Lee actually setting the league record in deer per season that he hits. I've actually
also on the big gambling front for all you big Powerball players, don't forget 1.6 billion this Saturday. 1.6 billion. So you're gonna have to cough up a half a bill, they say, to get the other 800 million. But 1.6 is available to you today if you place your bet on the Powerball for Saturday's drawing. So don't forget that one. And then,
hey Matt, did you see the early counting in Florida has Miami-Dade going red? Did you see that?
I did not. But
yeah,
a lot of people from the Northeast have moved down there. Maybe they're not all blue hairs. I don't know. I don't know what to think about. The demographics are changing. So does that mean Austin's going to go blue, even though all the Californians have moved there, or go red? Excuse me. Yeah, give me a break. Who knows?
I can't wait for it to be over. That's all I got to say.
Well, it won't be over. Matt. Bob, it looks like it won't be over until probably 2023 and when the riots get going again. So I don't know what to tell you there, but be careful. And apparently Paul Pelosi let in the cops.
I got to tell you, this story.
Hold on. Let me just tell you what I'm reading the news headlines.
I read it too.
He let in the cops. He was in good shape. And they also have video cameras on the place, and they weren't watching them. Yet he lets the cops in and then takes them to the guy where the guy then whacks him with the hammer. I mean, really? Like, wouldn't the cops go first? Or Paul's just going, come on, guys, this way. Like he's leading them in. Come on, he's right in here. And as soon as this seriously sounds like the Pink Panther and Kato. I mean, like he wanted to fight with this guy. He invited this guy in. I mean, it doesn't make sense, Bob.
None of it makes sense.
That's all I'm saying. I don't have the answers. I wasn't there. And I'm no reporter, but some reporters should be digging into this story because nothing makes sense here. And how soon does he kill himself in the cell, by the way?
Well, how about our forget it. Me and you will talk on this separately because it's too interesting. And we have no more price discussion. Like, actually, I wonder what are the odds lines now?
Hold on, Bob. Hold on. I do have a little bit more price discovery because we have been talking about the bonds and we've been talking about dollar and we've been talking and so we talked about this pregame and we're gonna have this conversation now. The dollar today, okay? The dollar.
Bring it up.
What do you think it's doing? First of all.
Well, first of all, it should be rallying, but it's not.
Okay, so that's your thoughts. So that's exactly correct. And the dollar is down big today. I mean, look at this, whoosh, right? But I'm gonna come back to but again, we talked about this yesterday, hitting 113. We're gonna have a jobs number. All it's done is come back into the meat. That's all it has done. And it paused right down here at 110.87. Now trading 111.04, rallied from there all the way up to here to 111.42. This is a bullish chart on a short-term nature. It is a bullish chart still on the long term. Nothing has changed. Okay. So all this news, nothing has changed. Then we talk about the bonds, and we've been talking about the bonds, and how, this is probably the most important thing in the world. It's a much bigger marketplace than equity market, and money is leaving like mad still. I'm going to start with the ultra, down $2 again today, peaked at 131 here last week into, the idea that the end of the month and the earnings, blah, 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 all this is coming. And now again, this is a fairly bearish chart still on this time frame and any time frame. So you go out to the longer time frames. We're not down to the lows of 123, but we're at 126. Not particularly strong on the, this is still telling me that interest rates which, by the way, I'm going to look at just the quick futures just to give everybody, they're pretty flat right now. The 10-year is actually creeping up 4.16, but the 2-year is still 4.66 today, Bob. And I think it was as high as 4.8. Yeah. So we made another new high on the bonds this morning. Or yeah, on the interest rates, at least is what I'm talking about there. And so that continues. Nothing has changed. Very bullish, right? I just want to continue to strike the pose that nothing has changed here. Although we've had this whipping action on a Friday after who knows, a marginal to maybe good. They're trying to spin it as great news. And then the mortgage rates, peaked again 7.12 down here at 6.95. But this isn't the end of the day. I don't know where this will end today, but this is still bearable. It's a bullish market, skyrocketing off this bottom, taking out multiple years of highs. We are now trading again back to 2000 price levels when it comes to mortgage rates. We are back to 2000. So the past 22 years of bond debauchery has been wiped out, and that's important. That's important for people to understand. And the people that are sitting on the sidelines thinking that the Fed is going to start reducing rates to negative again, I say this all the time, but just because we've gone up since December of 20, now, 10 months from 2 to 7.5, doesn't mean we're going to go right back down. So you're not going to see the same type of action that you're seeing on the SPOOs and the NASDAQ today. You're not going to see this type of action come back in the bonds, where they're just going to be taking rates to negative again. Again, that's my bet. I don't think it's going to happen.
Right on.
Anytime
soon. And all of this is a giant change in this marketplace on so many levels. So people that are going to park money, like, why would you risk the stock market? We've talked about this.
Oh, and then
it becomes a more realistic environment for investing when you actually have yield available in interest denominated things, so
yes.
And this is just starting to play into the market psychology. A lot of these players in this marketplace have never actually had to consider this. Like, why would I put my money in interest rate bearing things? I'm going to play the market. We've been doing this for 15 years now. Just buy the market. That's all you got to do.
Because they've been forced to, because there was nowhere else.
In fact, Matt, I just watched last night The Smartest Guys in the Room, the Enron story.
Yeah.
And that came out in like 06, 07. In fact, Ken Lay and Jeff Skinner hadn't gone to trial yet.
Skilling.
This came out in Skilling, exactly. But they talked about the same kind of mentality in the late 90s and early 2000s of everybody's a great trader, man. All you got to do is buy the market and you're going to make money. And there's nothing else to talk about except that it's easy to make money until it isn't.
Well, and along with that, Bob, and again, we've been talking to, the facts that oil is not going down. And let me talk again today, because we said it's going to go to 93, which was this last high. And sure enough, here we are today, 92.60, new high on this move from all the way 81. And again, this is where Biden really started hammering the table at 81 when it had already run to 93. Pulled back very bullishly, decided, you know what, this is a great spot in the profile. We're going to eat it up again. And this thing is back up here. And I contend that we're going to go again and test even higher prices once 93 blows out. We have broken out. The trend line traders are breaking out again. Joe, you don't know how to trade. You better call in Hillary, because unless she can fix something for you here, oil is going to the moon, my friend.
Unless she's got a cattle trade available.
Yeah, this whole diesel story, I don't know if it's true or not. I don't, and I'm not going to pretend I do. I don't track, diesel storage well enough to know what's going on. But if it is true, and they're saying, possibly that you're looking at Monday, literally Monday of Thanksgiving week, we're going to be out of diesel, and they're already hoarding it supposedly on some of these key areas in New Jersey and some of these East Coast areas also, and then down in the Southeast, down in Louisiana, supposedly the hoarding is going on. Heating oil is through the roof for the poor people that have to still use heating oil on the East Coast. Those are the only people using heating oil for sure, the poor people. So guess who's getting hurt as we come into the cold months here, Bob? And again, this story is not playing out nicely.
No, it isn't, Matt. And let me share the same crude futures here on a 3-day, because this really amplifies what you're talking about. this is incredibly bullish now, as we've regained up momentum after being out of it since middle of June, first week of June.
Right.
All right. Finally, this seems to have played out. The pullback has played out. Up momentum on the 3-day. For sure, it's going to be up momentum on the daily.
But and what's it
positive slope? Yeah.
Just go back to the first look that you had on that, because it's interesting that you said the pullback has completed itself, and what it did is it went back to that November of 21 high, which is again, if you're just a technical trader, forget about the momentum, forget about the profile, but it also, that's what the profile shows, right? You got plenty of buyers interested at those prices at 75, and we were talking about it. This is why it's going to go higher. We're going to see higher prices. We're not going to $50 oil. I mean, Joe can hope, but unless he brings, that other guy back, the orange man, we're not going to $50 oil. Unless he makes Trump the new Department of Energy.
All right, let me fractal out one more time, because if you're a bear in oil, you still have a little bit of, well, actually you don't have this either. I will say this, that on the weekly, you still have descending standard deviation modeling here. And so we're going to need next week, you're going to need continuation out of this thing to really turn it explosive. All right, so I would love to see it from a bull standpoint, to take out this 93.50 area and close the week higher again. And then it's Katie bar the door on this chart. That's what HFR is telling you. Katie bar that door. All right. Speaking of Katie's and bars, it is time to start the weekend. And I'm ready, Matt. I'm ready. I think I'm over the cold. And the best thing to really make sure the cold is over is Irish whiskey. And I think I will do that with a nice hot toddy.
Right.
Absolutely. Clear the pipes. All right, Matt, that's what we got. Please visit us, marketvitals.io. Please share, retweet, and plagiarize the broadcast. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Mark. Do yourself a favor, cook someone a meal. And why don't you give them a flavor kick to the mouth and use some Amazon purchased Shrimp Mojo from Manja TV. Thank you, Matt. Everybody's got their picks now. We're going to enjoy the winning circle.
No, you jinxed me. You jinxed me. Paid me. Everyone, pick the opposite in all 10 games. You'll do well.
No chance. I trust. Matt, you know what? Your picks are like a drum with a hole in it. You can't beat it.
Hold on. I got one more chart to show, since we're talking about picks, just because it's relevant. And apparently I must have been making, runs on the bank here at DraftKings, because Bob, their earnings were horrendous last night. And let's just talk about, they were expecting to lose 62 cents, lost 96 cents, which is a huge miss, 50% miss, right? And they had greater sales, but it's costing them more to acquire customers who are losers, and they still can't make money. What the heck is going on at DraftKings? It's kind of like the marijuana business. It's the slow grind to zero, right?
Exactly.
I mean, there's too many.
Since Davey Boy's been always in the news, bring up Penn Gaming and how did Penn respond to a DraftKings miss?
Yeah, well, they're up 80 cents. Apparently, they're stealing business. That's what they.
Right on. Congratulations, Davey.
Yeah, but what I will say is, on this time frame, Davey Boy, they did trade back to the level we said. Remember, we said 20s, and we got all the way back there. But don't forget the COVID low is still 380, Davey. So you still have $22, Dave, to exit before you get to the single digits, which is, and again, this is kind of we're having a conversation here, but you really have to really look at this chart, I think, from a shorter term perspective, because the barstool piece really wasn't involved until, I don't know, when was it? Like probably somewhere in here, somewhere in 19 when they got bought by Penn. I don't know. I don't remember exactly when that was. But I guess when you do that, you're basically in balance right here at 31. You got down to 25. But this to me looks like it's going to grind its way all the way down to single digits over time. It's just what it looks like to me. They have to be getting hurt also with the with the advertising cutback from Barstool alone, right? I mean, that's got to be a profitable segment for them versus the gaming segment, because the gaming segment, like we said, is just like marijuana. There's a sports book on every corner now where you can, smoke.
Well, there's
weed.
one in every pocket. Exactly.
Well, you can
Yes.
smoke weed. You can smoke weed and place your bet now. Maybe we should open those. The weed betting parlors. The
Yes,
weed
you
betting
pull a
parlors.
tube and then try to place
Yes.
a bet. All right,
Yes.
I'm with you.
All right. All right.
All right, thank you, Matt. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Lee. I will see you on Monday.
All right, Bobby. Have a great weekend.
Peace.